Hi, I'm Lee Herbert. I'm a Melbourne-based filmmaker, and in this video I want to show you some tips and tricks to make your online videos, your Skypes, your interviews, what have you, look and sound a little bit better with either some extra gear that you can get or just with stuff that you might have hanging around the house. Now, step number one is looking at the camera that you're using. Most of us use the camera that's built into our laptop, or at least that's the one we're going to start with. The challenge with that is the cameras in our laptops and our computers are not that good. And you can see that the image isn't really sort of as clear as some of the other images that I've got. The other challenge, if you are going to use this camera, is that you want to place the camera on eye level. And generally, your computer is going to be lower than you, so you're looking down and your audience is looking up your nose, which is, not the best. So you want to put your laptop, if you are going to use your laptop camera, on some books or on a pedestal or something, just so that the camera is on eye level with you and you're looking sort of level direct into the camera, which is better. So that's if you're using just the built-in camera on your laptop. Now, if you can get a webcam, I do recommend getting a webcam because that is going to be better than the camera that's built into your laptop. So over here, I'm using a Logitech C920, which has been around for donkey's years, but is one of the best on the market. I don't think you can get it anymore, but if you look up Logitech webcam, you can find a pretty good one. They're around about $100, $140 Australian. And you can see that the image is a lot clearer and it's a lot wider. And that brings me on to another thing. No matter what camera you're using, be aware of your background. So you want your background to either be a little bit busy so that there's something in the background, but you don't want it too busy. For example, my office here, you wouldn't believe I've actually tidied it up, but it's still quite messy. And ideally, I'd want to tidy it up even a little bit more. The other thing to keep in mind is you don't want to have any bright lights behind you because that's going to be shining or distracting. So for example, don't have the TV on behind you because that's movement that's going to distract your viewer from your face because you're the one who's talking and that's what's important as opposed to what's going on behind you. So that's something else to think about. If you want to go one step further from the webcam, you can actually do what I'm doing here, and I'm actually using a fancy camera or a more professional camera. And in order to get that into your computer, the easiest way is to get this thing called the Elgato Cam Link. And what it does is it's got HDMI on this side, USB on this side, plug your camera via HDMI into here, plug the USB into your computer, and your computer will just see your camera as if it's just another webcam available to it. So that's another great option. And the beauty with that is because if you need to zoom in, zoom out, so for example, if I want to make the shot tighter, if I want to make it wider, what have you, if I want to make it wider, if I want to make it tighter, what have you, I've got far more control and it does look a lot clearer. But of course that's going up a couple of notches. So even if you're just using the webcam on your computer, another thing to think about is lighting. So at the moment I've got a light set up just over here that's shining on me to make me a little bit brighter. And I'm just going to use the remote control that I've got for that light on my phone to dim it down so you can see what that looks like without the light. So let's go ahead and just dim that down to 0. And you can see already I'm a bit dark, you can see a lot more reflection off of the laptop. So if you can get a little light, and you can get these for $50 and anywhere above, depending on what kind of light you're going to get, put it on a little broom, put it on a stick, whatever is going to sort of hold it up there. I'm using a monopod, and just having that little bit of extra light can really help to sort of brighten you up and make you look a lot clearer and sharper. This is the light that I'm using. It's called a Lightra. It's really cool. Not the cheapest thing in the world, but gives you a lot of really great options. And I'll just use this as an example of why you don't want any bright lights behind you. So be aware if there's a lamp or something in the background, switch it off so that it's not shining in people's faces. So that's looking at the lighting, that's looking at the camera options. The other thing I'm going to mention just before we move on from the camera options is I am one of those weirdos who puts tape on top of my camera. And that's not because I'm paranoid, I think someone's going to film me or something like that. But I don't want someone to start a video conference with me while I'm still in my underwear. So I want to make sure that I am dressed, I am ready, I am rearing to go, and then I will take the tape off and have my video conference. So just something to think about when you're preparing for a video conference. The last thing we're going to talk about is audio. And this is actually super important because if people can't hear you, it doesn't matter how good you look, they're not going to pay attention because they can't hear what you're saying. So to begin with, again, if you're going to use the microphone that's built into your laptop, it's not ideal. It's better to get other microphones. But if you are going to use that microphone, some things you can do to get rid of some of that echo that you hear sometimes with an echoey room is, first of all, don't do your interview in an echoey room. What causes echo is hard, flat surfaces. So for example, tiles, hardwood floors. Ideally, you're going to do an interview somewhere where there's carpet. Even what you could do is you could just put a blanket in front of you so that the audio that's coming out of your mouth is absorbed a little bit by the blanket as opposed to bouncing off of a hard wall and coming back and causing that echo. So that's something you can do to just create an environment that's more suitable to better audio recordings. The next step up is to get a microphone. Now you can get a host of different microphones for your computer, for your camera, particularly if you're going to be using a phone or an iPad or something like that. This is a really cool device. It's called the Video Mic Me from a company called Rode, and it'll plug directly into your iPhone and give you much better audio because it's pointing straight at you and capturing better audio. And I'll give you an example of that now. So this is what the audio sounds like recording on my phone when I'm not using the Video Mic Me. I'm just going to stop the recording and then plug the Video Mic Me in. And now this is the recording of my voice on my iPhone with the Video Mic Me, and already you can hear you're not picking up as much echo or background noise, and so it does sound heaps better. Now you may not have the budget to get a better microphone, or you might not want to go out and get one. You can use some of the microphones that you have accessible which you may not have thought of. To begin with, you've got the microphone that's built into your headset for your phone, and you'll notice a lot of people doing interviews on TV online with this sort of setup like this. Now one thing to be aware of, because you're going to have the microphone close to your mouth, and that's a key thing for audio. The best way to get good audio is to get the microphone as close as possible to the source of the audio you want to capture. This being the case, your mouth. So as long as the microphone is nice and close to your mouth, you're going to sound better. Of course, you don't want to get the microphone really close to your mouth when you're talking, because you're looking straight down my throat, which is less than ideal. So this is one of the options for you. You've got a headset for your phone, you can use it. One thing to be aware of with this though is that when you are talking, try not jingle the microphone, because you're going to pick up that noise of the jingle of the microphone. Even if you've got a shirt, very often you'll be watching interviews and you'll hear like a clink or a clatter, and that's because the microphone has touched the collar or the button or something that the person is wearing. So maybe just sort of hold your hand out here to hold it out a bit. And what I'm talking about with that noise, I'm just touching my microphone there, but you can hear exactly what I'm talking about. So these headphones are one option. Another option, and you will have seen this quite a lot as well, is if you do have a pair of AirPods or similar, which is, you know, headphones with microphones built in. Again, this is going to sound a lot better because the microphone is nice and close to your mouth and it's picking up better sound. So it's another option that you can use when using your computer or when you're using a smartphone or a tablet to get better audio by using your built-in headset, because the microphone's close to your mouth. So that's definitely something to look at when you're looking at improving your audio. If you are going to use, you know, another camera, again, look at a different sort of microphone. Most microphones that you could get probably going to range from about, you know, $50 to anywhere above. But sort of if you want to spend at least $50 on a better microphone, it's definitely a good way to go. Well, I hope that's been helpful. What we've looked at is how to improve your environment if you're not going to add any more gear. We've looked at some gear you can add to improve the audio and video quality of your interviews and your conversations online. I hope that's been helpful. If there's anything that I've left out or anything else that you'd like me to cover, please let me know in the comments below, and we'll catch you next time. Oh, and by the way, obviously, if you want to be a real YouTuber, I should have started with, "Hey, what's up, guys?" But most of them ask, I don't think they really care. I do. Please let me know how you're doing. And I always have to finish, of course, because it's on YouTube, by saying, please remember to like and subscribe. But the thing is, if you didn't like this, don't like it. Put the thumb down. I can take it. My ego is fine with that. If you didn't like it, be constructive. Put the thumbs down and let me know why you didn't like it. And if you did like it, then hit the like. But everyone should subscribe. You should totally subscribe. We'll catch you next time.